somewhat.
Shelley Malvern really knows what she's talking about on television because she just reminded me, we've been doing the show for about 11 years and you've been on it for 10.
I have.
And now here you are, big VP of an up-and-coming organization. I just saw this in the paper yesterday. A study says, this is an Associated Press story, friends are the common source of prescription drugs. You've been saying that for years.
Yeah, I've been saying it for years. And actually, where do friends get those medications? They get them right out of the medicine cabinet. And that's where we know, here in Arizona, we've got 1 out of 5 kids using a prescription drug not prescribed to them. And, as we've heard recently in the news, we have 40 people a day dying from prescription pain reliever overdoses. That's every single day.
40 people over what geographical area?
United States, 12 plus. And, I always like to use the analogy, if we had 40 dolphins washing up on the shore in California, our country would be outraged. But every single day across our country, we lose 40 people.
So mom and dad turn out to be unintentional dealers.
That's correct. In fact, DEA for several years now has recognized that the biggest drug threat in the U.S. is not the drug cartels. It's our own pharmaceutical industry. And Americans, parents, grandparents, unwittingly may be their teen's drug supplier without even knowing it.
And kids at parties, kids alone, kids just with a friend in a car are mixing stuff up that under no circumstances would the family doctor ever allow. Huge warning signs on the side of the container. But it's not just kids. I mean, we're reading every day about major celebrated figures in show business, people of great means, people who have all kinds of resources, who are lost to us because they combine, in the case of Philip Seymour Hoffman, for example, heroin and other drugs, who knows how many. And the fact that you have as many people, the Academy Awards just a matter of days ago, and you look out at the expanse of that audience and you realize in past audiences, in that same venue, many of these people were, and they don't exist anymore. So it's all ages, isn't it?
It's everybody, it's everywhere, and especially with our kids, is that, their idea is that it's prescribed by a doctor, it's safe, it won't hurt you. Why would a doctor prescribe anything that would harm you? And so, but they have no idea what they're taking.
But why is this safe?
This is safe because one of the things that we know is if we can prevent access to the medications, we know we can do a lot to reduce youth prescription drug abuse. So what the RxArmory does is it fits right inside your medicine cabinet. This looks like a typical medicine cabinet, right? And so what you do is we have 2-sided tape. This is the same tape that they use on airplanes.
Yeah.
So feel very safe next time you fly on an airplane. They use the same tape. It fits right in here and it sticks. So you put that in there, and then when you can open it up and you can put your medications in here. And so what this does is a couple of different things. It sends a signal to your kids that, hey, these are dangerous drugs and need to be locked up. And also that we take this seriously. So it can be locked up, placed in your medicine cabinet. There's a key and a combination lock.
But you really probably should have more than one because, quite honestly, every family combined would necessarily have to use a lot of space because they have a lot of different medications.
Right. In fact, it comes in 2 sizes. We have a family size that is actually larger than the personal size, or you could actually buy more than one.
That's a great idea. So where do we get it and how much does it cost?
Well, right now you can get it online at RxArmory.com, and the retail price is $36.99.
And this has any kind of an established history as working?
Well, what we do know is what prevention science tells us is that whenever you create an environmental solution to the problem, we're going to reduce use because 90% of kids get medications either from their friends or from the home medicine cabinet just because they have easy access. Just because people, when they have a medication, maybe for a surgery or for a sports injury, they may be saving and say, oh, well, I may need that on down the road. So they keep the medications in here having no idea if 3 or 4 or 5 go missing. Actually, some people wouldn't even realize if their entire prescription drug was gone because maybe they've forgotten about it.
Wow.
So we have so many. In Arizona alone, 585 million pills prescribed in 2012. 585 million are out there. So if kids have easy access, they're more likely to get their hands on it and use
it. And it doesn't have to be OxyContin or Percodan either, does it?
No, it can be any prescription drugs. In fact, what's happening is a lot of the kids what they're doing is they will actually take a prescription, not even knowing what it is, and take it to a party, and they have what they call skittle parties or farming parties, where they're just throwing different types of pharmaceutical drugs in a bowl and taking it, not knowing even what it is, and mixing it with alcohol, and that's when we have problems.
I don't think I am a naive person, and having been around the music business as long as I was, I certainly have known a number of people who were participating in that field. Every time I ever hear about the farming parties, tossing a huge variety of unknown substances into a bowl, I just find myself in awe that anybody would do that.
It's frightening, and that's probably on the part of parents too, is that they have they have no idea that the kids are out abusing the medications in this way. And so that's one of the things that we do is encourage parents. We have to talk early and often to our kids about the dangers of prescription drugs. And I've got a 10-year-old, and I've already done the sort of pulled the medication bottle out of the medicine cabinet. And I said, Matthew, whose name is on this prescription? And so he reads it, and I said, you never take a prescription from someone or somebody where it doesn't have your name on the bottle. So a simple conversation with your 10-year-old can let them know that, hey, these are really serious medications and they can be dangerous if they're abused. Have them read the labels on their vitamins if they take a vitamin. It says, call your doctor if you take too many. So this RxArmory really is more about, we're about preventing prescription drug use, but it's also about that parent-child communication. And it's about the overall mission of really providing a healthier, safer environment.
Okay, Doug, excuse us, but this is something I've asked Shelley now for the last 10 years, and I'm going to ask you again because I do it every time. But when Matthew looks at you and says at some time, but Mom, don't you trust me? You got a safe in the medicine cabinet. What do you say to Matthew?
Oh, I say, of course I trust you. It may not be your friends that I trust, though, that come over and may take a look in our medicine cabinet, because I know that it may not be you, but it may be your friends.
Matthew's
it
got
may
a
be your
tough
neighbors.
Okay, quickly, how do we get it?
RxArmory.com.
How much?
At $36.99.
Certainly inexpensive,
Yes, it is.
considering the benefits. This is the Morning Scramble.